everyone, it's Nick here with Nick's Hard Rock CD album review. I hope everyone's doing well. The album we're going to look at today is Winger. Now, this is their debut album, their first album, and it was released in 1988. I'll just read the songs for you. We've got Madeleine, Hungary, 17, Without the Night, Purple Haze, State of Emergency, Time to Surrender, Poison Angel, Hanging On, and Headed for a Heartbreak. We've got the band here. We'll just introduce the band. We've got Reb Beach, the guitarist, Rod Morgenstein, the drummer. In the middle there, we've got Kip Winger, the lead vocals and bass guitar. He also does keyboards as well. And on the end there is Paul Taylor, keyboardist. Yeah, so this was their first album, and it did very well for a first album. They had 4 hit singles: Madeleine, 17, Headed for a Heartbreak, and Hungry. There's a picture of Reb Beach, the guitarist. And I should say that Reb Beach, he actually is now in Whitesnake. Winger, they finished. The band finished. Quite a while ago now, but Reb Beach is now in Whitesnake, so there we go. But as I said, the album did quite well for a debut album. It reached number 21 on the Billboard 200 American charts and number 96 on the Canadian 100 chart. And actually, I should mention that the song "Purple Haze" that they do on this album is actually a cover of a song originally done by Jimi Hendrix. So Jimi Hendrix, the great guitarist, one of probably the best guitarists ever lived. People will say, yeah, that's one of his songs, "Purple Haze." But in regards to Winger, that they're a bit different from your normal. I don't want to say normal. They're a bit different from your from your 80s hard rock hair glam bands. Now, these guys were lumped into the hair glam band genre of music. Now, sure, that there were elements of that in some of their songs. They're definitely hard rock, but you could also class them as progressive rock. Now, progressive rock it's a sort of a different instrumental and song compositions. A lot of technical playing involved, and a lot of time changes within the song. So it's a bit more, it's a bit more detailed, so to speak. It's a bit hard to describe. If you want to look it up, you can look it up on Google. It's called progressive rock. But yeah, as I said, the band Winger were always lumped into that glam hard rock category, but yeah, they've toured with the likes of Cinderella, Bon Jovi, Poison, Skid Row, Tesla. So they've toured with those types of bands. Now, as I said, the album did very well. It reached platinum sales in America, 1 million plus sales in America, and it reached gold album sales in Canada. So it did very well for a debut album. And the first time I actually listened to this album, I've also got their second album as well. The first time I listened to the album, it really struck me that the time changes within the songs. It was very unique. I never heard that kind of stuff before, especially with the 80s type of hard rock band. The normal 80s hard rock. We all know Poison and Bon Jovi and all that. You got the big riffs, and you got the normal, the drumming and all that, and the keyboard sound, and it's a very set formula, those type of songs. But with Winger, it was just different. As I said, time changes, and the playing on some of these songs is just fantastic. It's unbelievable, the playing. So very, 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 very good musicians. These guys, extremely good musicians. And there's also 2 other bands that were also in the hard rock, heavy metal genre of progressive rock. That's 2 bands, Dream Theater and Queensryche. Now, I've heard 1 or 2 of Queensryche's songs, but I never got into them. But they are more progressive rock. But with Winger, look, they got some catchy songs. They got some really catchy songs, believe me. And I actually I prefer their second album more so than the first album. Nothing, as I said, nothing wrong with the first album, but their second album is a bit more catchier for my liking. Yeah, a bit more catchier. There's a picture of Kip there. Lead singer, Kip Winger. Look, my favourite song would have to be "Hungry." Without the Night, it's a slow song. It's got a bit of a ballad type feel. The song structure is very complex, but it just works so well, and it's got nice keyboards throughout it too. And one of their hit singles, "Headed for a Heartbreak," that's just a majestic song. You know, it will stick in your mind. That one of those songs that just stays in your mind, and yeah, it's always a joy to listen to. That song, "Headed for a Heartbreak." As I mentioned, one of their hit singles, one of their hit songs, "17." That's more of a I was going to say a party song. It's got elements of that in it, but yeah, that's the song "17" is your more your hair band type song. They cover a lot of different. They can be very serious, Winger, with their songs and obviously with their playing, but they can also be they can do party songs as well. So they cover a lot of different genres. They're an interesting band, but ultimately definitely hard rock. Don't get me wrong, definitely hard rock. Yeah, so there's Winger. There's Winger's album, Winger, and you know, this is another band I took a gamble with. I never heard any of their stuff, and I knew about them, and I knew about the success they had, and I just went out on the limb and got the two albums, and yeah, very, very satisfied. Yeah, very satisfied. And these guys were very, very well known and very well respected. So yeah, it's a shame that they're no longer with us doing their. It's a shame. Oh, I'm not saying the band members are dead or anything, but it's a shame that the band is no longer currently playing. But there we go. So there's Winger's debut album, released in 1988, and did very well for a first album. And their second album did very well as well. So yeah, so there we go. Now look, I would give this a 7 out of 10. As I said, it's an interesting album, and it's very remarkable the guitar, the keyboard, the drumming and playing. It's very interesting to sit back and listen to, just the time changes. But it's catchy as well. So it's not boring, or it's not an absolute overload of different time changes within the songs. It's a very good formula that keeps you interested. Yeah, so yeah, a very good band, Winger. Yeah, so there we go. There's Winger, and yeah, so thank you all again for watching, and thank you for your support, and I hope everyone's doing well out there and staying safe. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.